What's up, guys? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one, I want to break down what's happening with Tesla and the overall market very briefly. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Webull link. If you deposit any amount of money, you're guaranteed 12 free stocks. If you deposit $500, you're guaranteed 20 in total, and deposit $2,000 more, and you're guaranteed 40 free stocks. The offer ends in just 8 days, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, now let's talk about Tesla. Tesla's looking very bearish alongside the market. It's getting a big rejection, but we are seeing some buyers trying to step in right now, at least defending both of these. As far as Tesla goes, we did dip a little bit below the 215 area. Our next target would have been like 212, exactly where Tesla ended up dipping to. So with that happening, so far Tesla is still holding 212, and I'm not really too worried about this move thus far because you have to remember the next catalyst for Tesla is going to be its earnings. So that's going to be very, very key for what it ends up doing. So I just want to say that for earnings, we're expecting some interesting things right now. We're going to be listening to see what Tesla says about the robotaxi, not to mention the cyber cab and many other factors like that. And we're going to be listening to what they say about AI and robotics and a bunch of other things like that. For the third quarter, we're expecting a revenue of $25.4 billion, according to the Bloomberg consensus. And then we're also expecting about a 51 cents adjusted EPS. That's what the street is expecting, with net income at 2.06 billion and operating profits at 1.96 billion. So just know we're going to be looking at those margins, their overall, reports, what they're projecting for their vehicles, and more information about the robotaxi potentially, not to mention new insights on the company. So I'll be listening to what Tesla has to say during their earnings report, but there is a risk involved in Tesla, and that's why I wanted to make this video. So if you're holding anything overnight, guys, be careful. Okay, be very, very careful. It's possible Tesla dumps all the way down to about 202, if not into the 190s, if earnings do not go well, or if earnings are just basic and they don't really wow investors, because we need that wow factor. We need Elon Musk and the team to announce something that gets people so hyped and excited. That's going to help this thing to bounce. If we don't get that, this thing is going to be tanking like a rock. I want to be very honest about that. Now, if we do get the wow factor, if Musk ends up being very bullish on robotics and he tries very hard to get investors hyped up, we're going to be looking to see if this could break these highs up here in the 225 area. Our target's going to be all the way up around this just under 230 area, very close to our 200 EMA at the very least. So do we pump almost 20 points to go up to about the 230 zone, or do we dump 13 to 20 points to about 202, if not the 190s? It could go either way. So I'm not some kind of Nostradamus, some kind of fortune teller or anything like that. So I don't know what's going to happen for sure. I can tell you this. Technically speaking, Tesla does look bearish when you look at this symmetrical structure. This is like a head and shoulders, and our typical measured move would take us all the way down to these lows down here. So typically, this setup is more bearish. All right. Technicals do suggest Tesla has more downside to hit the lower 200s, but I can't make any promises until we see earnings. So I want to be very, very clear about that. All right. So once again, to clarify, technicals look more bearish on Tesla, but whether or not they truly pan out depends on earnings. If you're holding anything overnight, be careful. Tesla could gap up really hard to the upside tomorrow, or we could be looking for a massive rug pull. Although a rug pull looks a little bit more probable, considering that not even the robotaxi event could have helped Tesla to bounce, and the fact that we do look bearish technically, anything could happen. So always be very mindful of that and be very, very careful. For SPY, we basically dumped pretty hard, losing support at 579. However, one thing worth mentioning is that we have this key level right here. So right here where this imbalance is very close to 575. That's where we're seeing some of these buyers stepping in. So let me actually highlight the zone real quick. So we came all the way down to this chop zone area, so like right down here, very close to 575, a little bit under. And then this is where buyers are trying to defend by bringing back up to 577. If we close above 577 or reclaim it, there is potential for SPY to try to rebound tomorrow back up to 580. There could be a bounce attempt, so just be very mindful of that before we see another rejection. But this could be the start of us slowing down. When it comes to the overall rising wedge-like structure, we did actually break out of the rising wedge for the first time, but we'll see if we get reclaimed back into it or not. So we need confirmation after another day. Will we do something like this where we attempt to rebound very quickly, retest the wedge, and then end up rejecting? Or do we just continue to make our way into this wedge and consolidate for a bit before we get that rejection later on? We'll have to wait and see. But the rising wedge remains. Where there are buyers defending SPY at 575, so we're going to try to push this higher. So I think it could try to push a little bit towards the end of the day, but just know to be careful with it and give this some time. As long as we don't close below 575, we do have potential to rebound. As long as we close above 577, we have even more potential. So keep that in mind. ES has dipped quite a bit, a big sell off on ES, but we had our levels panning out almost exactly. So I called 5800 as our main support. If we lost 5830, and then we also had 58, 58, what is that? 51 is the next target up there. So we're looking for 5830 as our resistance. If this breaks, or if it closes above that, that's going to be a sign that this might attempt to rebound just temporarily, but then it could reject and dip down lower. So just keep that in mind. We'll see if we could break above 5830. And if that's the case, we could rebound a little bit. Nvidia is dumping. We lost 140 as our main support. So this is the support right here. Our next support is basically at 138, followed by this imbalance all the way down to 130, just above 130, the 136s. So I think that Nvidia is at risk of downside. There could be a little bit more downside if we fill at 138. And if we hold it, we could attempt to rebound a bit. So it might attempt to retest 140, but then we'll see if we get a rejection off that or not. So look for a rebound. Maybe it tries to go back up to 140 by tomorrow morning, but then it could reject again. So just be very conscious of that. For Bitcoin, we're also dipping right now. We need to reclaim 66,000. If not, we're at risk of dipping lower, all the way down to 65,000. For NQ is attempting to rebound. We were holding our 200 EMA right here. We're looking for 20,200 as our resistance. If that breaks, I see us pushing back up for 20,000 and 20,250 is going to be our next target above that. So we'll see if we hold our. So far, we're holding our 4-hour 200 EMA on NQ. So far, the buyers are still defending it. Same thing with the QQQ. We dipped down to about 485. Now their buyers defending it, trying to get us back above 488. If we reclaim 488, we could attempt for 490 tomorrow. It all depends if we could get back above that resistance or not. Apple dipped quite a bit. Now it's trying to reclaim 230. If that holds, we could attempt that rebound. So give it even more time. For a few more out there, we also have Supermicro dipping. It's on a bit of a downtrend. The IWM Russell 2000 is also dipping. We have resistance at 220. If we can't reclaim that, we're looking for a dip back down to 217. For Coinbase is dipping right here. We're looking for 196.5 as our support. If it holds this, it could attempt to rebound for the 200s. If it loses 196.5, turn more bearish. So we're waiting to see if that ends up being the case. Amazon's dipped quite a bit. We're actually at our 200 EMA at 184.5. If we hold this, we could attempt to rebound for 186. If we lose that, we're looking for a big dump. So give it the time it needs. Meta is also dipping. We have basically one very important resistance area up here around 570, and the support to watch for is currently where we are at 563, around this range. If that fails us, we're looking for a dip all the way down to about below 560. But I think for now we're trying to base at 564. Microsoft is retesting the support here, came very close to about 422. As long as we don't lose 422, this could still attempt to rebound and bounce. Same thing with Google. As long as we don't lose 163, this could still attempt to rebound back up towards 165. Anyways, that's it for my video. So we're going to give this the time it needs. The market's holding up decently. It did dip quite a bit, but we're seeing some buyers defending us. So there's some buyers who are playing defense right now. And as far as Tesla goes, although the risk is to the downside, be careful if you're holding anything overnight. That's what my warning is all about. And that's why I'm here, guys, just to give you guys those insights and those warnings. So please have a great day. Get ready for Tesla's earnings. And it's going to be coming after the market closes. So get ready. Uh, I'll be back to give you guys more updates on it later on. It may take a couple of hours. The report may not start for a couple of hours after market opens. So just be ready for that. Until then, thank you for listening. Get ready for Tesla's earnings and peace out.